back at H2O, I think it's dead sad as well. I think the way Michael Myers, the Shape's mask is, the way he dons himself, the way he carries himself, is laughable. It is completely laughable. Looking back, that is. But at the time, I remember, after, it felt like a lifetime of Halloween movies with that young girl in, Danielle Harrison. All of a sudden, right, out of nowhere, just like the way this Halloween 18 movie came, out of absolute nowhere, yeah? With Jamie Lee Curtis being in it. Okay, that was a double whammy we got with last year's Halloween 18. But I remember when H2O came around, it was just as unsuspecting, it was just as out the blue as Halloween 18 was last year. It was just as out the blue, and possibly just as shocking, because we'd had so many years of Danielle Harris, and all the original fans, which I've been one of them, had assumed, after longing and longing for Curtis' return, assumed that she would never return. And then she did. And she did. And with the Curtis thing being shocking with 18, is because she died in Resurrection. I think the shock factor with 18, it was just, I think looking back, I know Halloween 18 was only a few months ago, but the shock value, I think, was probably equal looking back as I speak now. But I think the reason why Halloween H2O is so revered, I think H2O, I revere H2O, and I think with most fans of the Jamie Lee Curtis side of Halloween movie franchise, I think that most fans of the Curtis side of Halloween, the movie franchise Halloween, will actually say that they hold H2O with reverent dear. They hold it reverently. They have reverent affection for it. I know I do. I hold it with it's. I'm reverently. I've just looked it up in the dictionary now. The word reverence. I'm reverently fond of H2O, regardless of how. And I do agree. How H2O. Looking back, Myers, as I said right at the beginning of this video, he does look silly, the way he holds himself, the way he carries himself, the way his body language, Michael Myers' body language is, the way the mask is designed, etc. And I know it was CG, looking back it was CG, etc, etc. The way Michael Myers was fashioned in H2O, right? Looking back, I will be the first one to say that it does look daft. Michael Myers does look daft compared to the original Michael Myers in the original film, how the shape looked. And even with Halloween last year's H18, I would say, in comparison to that one, I would say Myers in H2O looks daft even compared to H18. I would say H2O. I think the only flaw with H2O, looking back, right, and I think all fans will say this as well, of the original. I will just say all fans, right, will say that the only problem with H2O, looking back, is that aspect of the movie which I've just said about Michael Myers, the way he is portrayed in that movie. But at the time, right, the horror flicks, the slasher movies, the resurgence of such at the time, that it was what was expected of those type of villains, to look that way, for their body language to be that manner, in that respect. Remember, Scream was out, right, and the only reason why H2O was made because of the resurgence of this movie, Scream. They've had to fashion, like, that H2O movie, they have had to have fashioned Michael Myers to have looked and to have behaved in a similar respect to oh shit, what was the name of the villain in Scream? Face, wasn't it? Something Face, wasn't it? You have to look like that. You have to look like that. Because the only reason why it came about, H2O, was because of that movie Scream. People's expectations, right? Patrons' expectations, moviegoers' expectations. Like with today, like the way H18 is, the way H18, last year's H18, was the way that was, and the way that disappointed all of Halloween movie franchises fans. Is because it had to be, because of the way that was made, had to be made in a certain way to fulfill the current moviegoers' expectations. The way that movie H18 irritates fans of the original franchise. H2O had the same problem. They had to fashion that movie in respect of its current patron moviegoers. H18, last year's H18, has had the same problem. And that's why that movie has pissed off a lot of fans. This is all my opinion, by the way. And this is just looking back at H18 after a few months. I wonder, leaving this video now, I wonder how H18 is going to hold up in another 20 years in comparison to how H20 has held up. Looking back, I think all H20 fans will only say the problem with H20 is that aspect of the movie, the Michael Myers, the way he is portrayed in that movie. We were so made up to have Jamie Lee Curtis back, and I think Steve Miner, the dude who made that movie, I think that is the reason why it still does hold. I do feel the movie in itself, as a general whole, still holds up. Its narrative still holds up. Its factor, its shock factor, its fucking badass factor at the end, it all still holds up. And that's the thing, because a lot of people, the people who made the movie at the time, really put loads of effort into it, because everyone was so... Remember, at the time, right, it was just as shocking to get that movie made of Curtis in as it was for H18s to get, for them to be able to write, for them to get Curtis back for H18, as shocking as that was after her dying and resurrection, to get her in H20, that was equally as shocking. I lived through that time like I've lived through this time with H18. That was just as shocking. H18, to get Curtis back for H18, to get it back for H20 was just as shocking, and it is all, and it's that reason why it was so shocking as to why I think a lot of effort was put into that movie H20, which is why it does still hold up really, really well, and ultimately, which is why I was so devastated when we got Resurrection a few years later. Yeah. I mean, Halloween fans now looking back and how hideous H20 holds Michael Myers, the character, you want to watch out, because you might be in for a bigger shock in a few years' time when you get your sequel to H18. You just wait, the biggest shock may be then when you get H18 sequel. That might be your biggest shock. That might be your biggest shock of all. Yeah. I can't watch H20 without cringing. And it's not cringy so much. I'm gutted because of the way that Michael Myers couldn't have been handled. But he couldn't have been handled any differently, because it was what was expected. It was expected that the villain would have to be like face in what's its face in the Scream movies. It had to be. It's just what happens with time. It's the way time fashions movies and the expectations of moviegoers. Time fashions it. Time dictates the way movies are made and the expectations of moviegoers. Time fashions all that. Myers couldn't have been designed any differently for H20. Mike Myers, the shape couldn't have. He couldn't have. It wouldn't have movie. It wouldn't have been H20. Time can't be rewritten. Can it be? It's, we just have to be grateful for what we have. But still, I do when I watch H20 now. All good in H20. It is a crying shame that Myers wasn't portrayed more seriously, more similarly to Carpenter's H78. But as I say, it just wasn't to be. It just wasn't to be. It is a crying shame. It is a real crying shame that he was portrayed so comically. But that was what was expected of villains. That niche market, that thriller, suspense, slasher type market with the resurgence back in 97, 98. The villain, it was only Scream and it was only Scream at the time. It was only Scream which was pulling in fashion and money at the box office. The movie Scream. There was no other at the time. Otherwise, Wes Craven wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have made it. He obviously saw the gap in the market to have made Scream. I don't think there was any other slasher movie at the time. They wanted to make money. Halloween, they wanted to make money. H20 to have gotten the people on board. I'm trying to work out in my mind how it could have been any differently. How it could have been. There was no other slasher genre at the time, and people who had made Halloween movies, they hadn't had a movie since, what was the previous movie to H20? What was the movie prior to H20? You'd had Donald Pleasant's character, he had passed on. There may have been a few years. Was it H6? Was it? It was H6, wasn't it? It was Pleasant's last movie. And Curtis mustn't have had a movie out for a while, and at the time, I mean, no one expected Carpenter to even be alive today. No one expected Carpenter to have been alive even back then. He was so old back then. It was just the way at the time movies were made. It was inevitable Myers would have been handled in such a manner. I'm only going to repeat myself now. That's how I see H20. That's my feeling towards H20. Yeah, I could only repeat myself. Which is why, again, I may as well repeat myself again, which is why I would say, and I'll hand my hand up for all fans, Halloween fans, so gutted in respect of when a few years after H20 Resurrection came around, and the way Laurie Strode, the character, was handled so badly. Yeah. It's just, I'll never forget that time when Resurrection came around. It was just so weird after getting the heights of H2O at the time. I just remember at the time thinking, no, that can't be real. That can't be, no. just never acknowledged it at the time of its existence. I just went on, I just carried on with my life, and I just remember catching it on late night TV one time when I was at my mum's house. It was on really late night one night on the television, and I watched it for the first time, and I'm still in shock. I'm still in shock with that movie, with Resurrection. I'm still in deep shock over that movie. It's a strange thing how movies affect people. Strange thing, isn't it? It's a strange thing, isn't it? I think it's a very strange thing when movies affect people, but it's the way it's affected me. That's my story of H20 and resurrection, ultimately resurrection. Now, looking back,